and then put the
Okay.
all right. Hi, welcome to Where Lavender Grows. This is a special episode tonight. We have our a guest here, Dawn, uh, Southern Gal True Crime, and it's such an honor to have you here today, Dawn. Uh,
Oh, it is my honor. I'm glad
ah,
to be here.
thank you. And we've already got quite a group in,
Oh yeah,
some of our usual
yeah.
suspects, so to
I see
speak.
Chris, Princess, Miss Avery.
There we
Yep.
go. Hey, Chris. Hey, Sins and Secrets Uncovered. Hey, hey, welcome in. All right. Let's see. Oh, hey there, Chris. Again. Yeah, thank you. You're glad Princess is here. I'm glad Princess is here as well. Thank you for coming in, Princess.
Hey, Miss
All right.
PJ. I see Miss PJ.
All right, PJ, how's it going? All right. Well, we have a special episode again, just like I said, and it was I just wanted to express to Southern Gal Dawn here uh, when I first said, "Hey, I'm starting a channel," and Dawn said, "Hey, I'll be your first. I'll invite myself onto your channel," and
Oh yeah.
I felt so honored that right out of the bat that Dawn would do that for me and come on, and so I really am very appreciative um, of you, Dawn, coming on.
You're very welcome. Like I said, it is my honor. You do such a good job. Like I said, me and Josh kind of go way back as far as being in chat. I think you were a mod in the Mr. Steve's chat, maybe a couple of other channels. So I've gotten to know Josh over the years through chat. I've always thought he was a very good guy, very smart, always had some good input. So that's why I instantly invited myself to your channel. uh,
Well, you're very welcome. This is a welcoming space for you,
Thank you.
and I've always appreciated how you've approached true crime, and it was something that I hoped to mirror in my own approach to true crime in a true
Hmm.
crime channel. Uh, Given just a lot of how true crime has changed in the last 10 years.
Yes, absolutely. I always say I'm very picky about who I watch and the kind of, you know, we all know the drill. We all know the drill. Like as I say, the ones to watch and the ones to stay away from, because there's
Right.
two totally different ways of in my opinion, of covering true crime. It's, like the way that we do it, just no drama, give the facts as we know them to the best of our ability, bring more awareness, encourage a good positive discussion, and then you've got the other side, you know.
Right.
So I try to stay
Absolutely.
on the good side.
All right. Princess is an
Uh,
advocate that I like helping out with advocating for cases. Yeah,
yeah, I think
exactly.
I'm
Chris.
connected to Prince's on a Facebook. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think I may have been on a Discord with Princess as well too, as well.
Hmm.
And that is exactly where I exactly the value that I have is really for advocacy and
Yes.
advocacy for victims. And
Hmm.
so I'm glad to see that I've caught the right people. I named my channel Where Lavender Grows if you type in where lavender grows on YouTube, it does not show up anywhere on like if you're looking for true crime, you go through a lot of
Yeah,
gardening.
yeah. Because I did that today. I was going to reshare the link on my community tab, and I would just put in where lavender grows to try to find the. I'm like, oh my goodness, wait, where'd it go? You know, I had all this gardening stuff come up, and I almost went down the rabbit hole with the gardening and the flower stuff, but I finally found it. I brought myself out of the weeds, and I found it. I found the link to the live stream. Uh,
Oh wow,
hey,
that
Doodlebug.
is. Hey, Doodlebug is here. Oh, cool. Hey, Doodlebug, it's good to see you. I'm already happy with the people that we've got in here. Chris, Doodlebug, Princess, everybody
Mm-hmm.
like that in.
Yeah.
But Chris asks, how did you get advocating? Gee, that is a long story. But I think I think really as far as like being on the channel and being like YouTube crime channels as far as podcasting and stuff like that, I really have to say I started with several creators with some cases back in the day that were uh popular. I think mine got started really with like a lot of the explosion of true crime that came out of Delphi, Indiana. I know, and I'm careful that we're not talking about that tonight. Um,
Yeah, some cases I stay away from. I mean, I watch some creators with but as far as doing live streams or anything on my channel about all these big cases, I just stay away from it.
right,
Mm.
and then I found my way onto. I saw all the drama, and oh, thank you for sharing out the live, BJ. Um, hi, Doodlebug. And like I said, as far as like watching and YouTube, uh, true crime, I think Delphi started it, and and then I through a series of following different people, and then being dissatisfied with the drama that went on with
Hmm.
a lot, not only in chat but also from the content creators themselves. I found Mr. Steve. Um,
He's one of the first ones I found
uh,
because actually Idaho 4 Kohlberger was what brought me into the true crime world on YouTube. But yeah, Mr. Steve's channel was one of the first ones I found, and I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's doing it the right way, and the rest is history. We love Mr. Steve.
Yeah, and he has a channel, True Crime Web. He's out there
Hmm.
in the field right now. He's been doing that, and I'm hoping for just as much advocacy and solving cases, and because he's actually one of the ones, unlike I can't say this about Southern Gal, but for myself, I'm not out there investigating, recreating crime scenes or things like that. But Mr. Steve is one of the ones that has boots on the ground and goes out there and really advocates on
Hmm.
that level, a- and uh, and things like that. So I became aware of in preschool. Oh wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. In
Oh,
preschool,
Chris, yeah, wow.
yeah. I would have. I don't know if mine goes back to preschool. If I'm talking way back before true crime channels and stuff like that, um, high school and the JFK thing
Hmm.
really got into me. I don't know if it's because I had watched the Oliver Stone's movie or something like that,
Oh yeah, yep,
but I
yep.
lived in Texas when Ann Richardson was governor, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and if and that was what the mid '90s. And I remember
Yeah.
the Oliver Stone movie coming out around there, and I just got
Hmm.
interested in it, and
Yeah.
I got interested in all the conspiracy, like, things like that, and so
Oh yeah,
that's
I can go.
interesting, Chris. Oh,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
can go down some conspiracy YouTube or conspiracy rabbit holes also.
I don't know, it
Uh,
exhausts me nowadays. I'm not quite that
yeah.
minded.
Hmm.
I really look I really try to focus on the human story that's
Yes.
there.
Yep.
And I found
Absolutely.
that out with that even there, I won't go into it, but the many, because if you get me down a JFK route, this whole thing will not be missing in the
Yeah.
South Plains.
Me too. We will be discussing. We'll be here all night. It'll be like a 9-hour live stream of just
Right, and
yeah.
I'm sure I've got stuff I got to do in the morning and stuff like that. So I won't go into that. But there was a human element to the JFK and
Hmm.
victims beyond uh, the thing that happened, and victims also because of um, how it was live. It was even
Hmm.
before all YouTube live and Facebook live and
Yep. Yep.
all those things. It was there
Oh
for
yeah.
everybody to see, and
Hmm. Hmm.
and that affected the people involved there. So there's a lot more victims.
Oh yeah. I
There
could
was
just. I mean, yeah. I couldn't imagine being at some place like that or anywhere where something like that happened for somebody to just lose their life just right for God and everyone to see. It was just awful, awful.
absolutely. And I actually got a few weeks ago before I left out of country, I got to visit Ruth Payne's house. She's the one that hosted Lee Harvey Oswald, and
Hmm.
but it was fascinating to me because she's connected to a whole lot of things like that,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of conspiracy theories, and
Hmm.
then to
Hmm.
know that she was a Quaker and she took people in because that's what Quakers do.
Excuse me.
But it
Uh-huh.
was a
Yep.
small house about the size of my apartment here.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wow," and you welcomed in another family. So there's always another side to that.
Yes. Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, oh, Princess, my friend went missing in middle school.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
and there was Chris says there was a death near my preschool that got me interested in it. Wow,
Mm.
to be thinking about this since preschool, Chris, that is
Yeah,
something in
that's
the
very
reality.
young. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very young.
Yeah.
Well, do we wanna get started, Dawn? Should we get started on missing in the South Plains?
We can. It's your show. I'm following your lead.
You're fi Absolutely, I gotta cut off the JFK things.
We might have to do just a conspiracy live stream at some point and talk about some JFK
I
stuff. Oh,
well, I've been thinking about doing another channel, a conspiracy, channel where I talk about conspiracy,
I
and
will
things like
be
that,
with you every time you're alive. I'm telling you, on that channel.
and separate it from my true
Yeah.
crime,
Yeah.
and maybe monetize that one? I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
That sounds like a good
alright.
idea to me.
Yeah. See what kind of rabbit holes we get
Oh,
into, or
I'm telling you, I'm good at finding them rabbit holes. Uh,
uh, Princess, tell us about your Indiana case that makes you so upset. Ooh, wow. Ooh, Princess, okay. We'll have to be listening in the chat for that, but I think we're going to go ahead and get started with Missing in the South Plains. And, so, what I figured we would do, is, Dawn and I will go back and forth and, uh, kinda alternate some of the cases that we have. I do have to say my latter cases don't have a lot of information in it, about them, but I still wanna give them attention, and that's what we're here to do, and, we'll talk about the implications of that as well too, so, um, alright. So, first, when I sent and labeled this, titled this "Missing in the South Plains," I, come to realize that I've been living here for 8 years and didn't realize I've always called this area the South Plains, but there's a southern high plains and there's the southern Great Plains. There's the Texas South Plains. There's a whole bunch of plains that
and
actually
much, yeah.
covers that covers this area. And I realized that there was several different definitions of what, and I couldn't find agreement really on what the South Plains really meant, other than, but so if you look at the map there, the kind of the lighter gray area where there's Kansas from Alberta all the way down through North Dakota, Kansas, through Texas. You're going to see that's called the Great Plains, and that covers a vast area up there. And I couldn't find a lot of agreement there, but there is a difference between the Southern High Plains and the South Plains. And the South Plains, according to the National Park Service and how they distinguish it with like 12 different national park units, covers even eastern Colorado, northeastern New Mexico, western Kansas, Oklahoma, and north and central Texas. And so that covers. I guess I should have put a little uh, red square or something over that, but you can kind of see where that covers. The Southern High Plains, on the other hand, is about 22,000 square miles. It kind of goes into New Mexico. It's right there where it says Llano Estacado. I live in this area as well, and there's about 24 different counties. Some of them that cross over into New Mexico, and there really is. If you're traveling to Roswell or to the famous Roswell, um, or if you're traveling to, or if you're traveling to Ruidoso, anywhere in New Mexico, uh, you'll find that once you cross the border, it really looks like just like the Texas South Plains, all the way until you start seeing more and more hills and mountains, and it's not so flat. It's still
Yeah.
dry, but it's not so flat. But this is a
Yeah.
arid um, area. It's not the desert, but it's semi-arid. We're not as hot as Phoenix, and this year we've received a lot more rain, so it's greener than it usually is in this area. But it's dry. This is also the alien country. You'll start seeing aliens. They even have the
I'm
little
telling you.
wooden aliens. Like the out east, they put the wooden bears out on your porch, the wooden carved
Hmm.
bears. They have the same thing, just the aliens, the little green.
I love it. I love it. Uh,
Uh, so, uh, so if I have any geography people here and you're upset how I named the missing in the South Plains, just know that here in this area, to the layperson, when we say South Plains, I really mean that Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Panhandle of Texas, all the way down to um, probably Marfa and stuff like that. That's the South Plains that I'm familiar. It might not be a technical understanding of that, but I thought I would mention that because when I looked up, oh, the Southern High Plains, the Southern, I just realized, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
so yeah,
And
I'd always just called it everything, just the Southern Plains, and then like the Southwest or whatever. Of course, I'm not a geography person, so
right, and so if
uh,
there's just a crazy amount there. Let's ooh, quite a few.
hey
Let me.
Mustang. Sorry.
Is Mustang in here? All
Yeah, she just
right.
popped in. Good to see you.
All right. All right. Oh, another case, Ella Sailor. Okay. I encountered a D at in high school where a bad guy took a pew pew into a Walmart. Ooh.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, there was one that happened in a South Carolina one. I used to live out there. Uh, Sins and Secrets. Avery has written 2 books. Ooh. About true crime? Is that? All right.
I
Thanks
remember we
for
talked about, or because she popped into my, I guess it was Monday, um, and somebody, yes, said had written books, but I can't remember. I've slept since then, so I can't remember what they're about. But
I'm in
uh,
Kansas. Oh, okay. Chris is in Kansas. I also lived in. I was in the. My dad was in the army, so we lived in Fort Riley for a little while in Kansas. Which
Hey, Brady, good to see you.
there's 2 New Mexico that upset me. Yeah. Hey, Mustang. Awesome to see ya. All right. All right. Now that I've gotten caught up with chat, I guess we'll get started with our first case. And let me pull up my notes. I put my computer, just a forewarning, my computer has been getting on the fritz with me here lately. So if I disappear for some reason, I hope you have an interesting conversation with Dawn.
You know me and how I like to talk and ramble, so no problem. We can take care
All
of
right. So I tried to minimize my computer's resources and things like that. Jennifer Lynn Wilkinson, she went missing in what month is 7/13/2004.
it. July.
Missing from July 13th, 2004, Lubbock, Texas. She was born December 9th, 1977. So she would be she was 26 years old at the time. She was wearing blue capri pants, a red halter top, and black flip flops, jeans, and a dark colored shirt. So I wanted to go through and read a little bit about her. She had brown hair, blue eyes. Her lower lip is pierced. She has several tattoos, a red nose with a snake wound around the stem, a red rose with a
I was
snake
going to
wound.
say a red nose. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but I was like, did he say nose?
No, a red nose.
Sorry.
My niece earlier was dressed up as a reindeer earlier when she
Oh.
called me with a red nose, a red rose with a snake wound around the stem on her
Happens to me all the time.
Oh yeah, I get jumbled up, and it's been
Yeah, I
quite a
do too.
weekend.
Yeah.
A stem on her left upper arm and shoulder, a small ladybug on the right rear side of her neck, the word taken on the back of her neck, the word rotten, and a butterfly on her back, and a dragon wrapped around her right ankle, a fish on her abdomen, roses on her right wrist, and an unspecified tattoo around her left leg. Wilkinson had red highlights in her hair at the time of her disappearance, and she went by Jen, and some of her other names is Lynn Wilkinson or Lynn Jennifer Wilkinson, as she's been described in newspapers and things like that. So I really just, and this is going, some of our people that we're covering today, the tattoos sometimes speak a lot about who they are or values that they had or something personal to their lives. And that's why I wanted to mention kind of those things and what who Jennifer was a little bit. So Wilkinson was last seen at approximately 11 a.m. on July 13th, 2004 at her boyfriend's residence near the 2400 block of 118th Street in the south side of Lubbock, Texas. He said he left his home to drive to her own home, then to work at Nothing But Smokes, which is still around here. They have several locations. I don't know if they have them out there where you're at, but they're kind of like drive-through places where you can. I think you can pick up liquor. You can.
Yeah, we have drive-through liquor stores, but you can get cigarettes and probably vapes now, and yeah.
And they oddly, I don't know about at this time, but Nothing But Smokes. I've never tried them, never gone in to try them, but they have 49-cent hot dogs.
Oh wow. I don't know if I would trust a 49-cent hot dog. Just saying.
Yeah, I kind of just went. No, I think.
But you never know.
That. You never know. Maybe I shouldn't down it till I try it, but
yeah, if you make it through the food, what is it called, food poisoning, then then you can say, yeah, that was very good.
Right, right. So he
Anyway,
said he left his home to drive her home, then to work, and then on to work at Nothing But Smokes, and that is a nothing butt. So Nothing But Smokes. Wilkinson apparently made it home, uh, but she but she never arrived at work, and she's never been heard from again. Um, Wilkinson's car, a black 1999 Honda Civic Coupe, was found parked at her residence after her disappearance. Her home was locked, and her car keys and house keys were inside. I guess that's how they uh, determined that maybe she made it home.
yeah.
She also left behind money and all her personal possessions, except her tan shoulder strap purse. She never contacted her employer to say that she would be absent from work, and she never picked up her last paycheck. Neither of her two roommates have heard from her again. Police stated they were looking for a suspicious vehicle, which they believe may have been involved in Wilkinson's disappearance. It is described as a small black truck set low to the ground with unique smooth hubcaps on tires and decals in the back window. It may be equipped with hydraulics. It may have tinted windows and out of state license plates. The vehicle and its driver have not been located nor identified. Wilkinson's family lives in New Mexico, and she had been planning to visit them before she disappeared. She was a sophomore at South Plains College at the time of her disappearance. She was the second young woman to disappear from Lubbock area in the same time period. And this is where it will get interesting. The other person was 16-year-old Joanna Rogers, a very familiar name to people here in Lubbock. Uh, Vanished from Lubbock in May of 2004. Her remains were found in a local landfill in October 2006. This is a case that I think his name was Rodriguez, a suitcase killer, came up from San Antonio on the bus, and uh, he uh, he murdered two people,
Mm.
including uh, Joanna Rogers. Uh, he confessed to it back in I think somewhere around 2018.
Excuse me.
And so
Mm.
it's interesting to me that they bring that up
Mhm.
because she went missing in July, and
Mhm.
the situation is very similar to Joanna's, where she had made it home, I think, or her left her possessions behind, and
Mhm.
um, and stuff like that. There has been no official connection between Joanna Rogers and the Rodriguez case to the but this was an interesting time in 2004 when that suitcase one came up. Uh, while it is unusual to have two women missing from a comparatively small town at the same time, investigators again, yeah, found no evidence to suggest that Wilkinson's and Rogers cases are connected. Wilkinson's boyfriend and roommates have been cleared of suspicion in her disappearance. Her best friend believes she was associating with drug users and possibly using drugs herself, but her mother doesn't believe that. Um, uh, she lived in a rental trailer at the time of her disappearance, and also attended college. Uh, they do believe she is missing under suspicious circumstances and may be in danger. Uh, but I don't know what makes them say this or why. Authorities don't necessarily necessarily believe she's passed away. Uh, so they classify her as a missing person, possible abduction.
Wow.
It
Okay.
looks like you have some thoughts, Don.
I always have thoughts. I don't know. I just so you said they don't consider her. Oh, I think she's still alive, but they think that she was abducted. Is
Hmm.
that what? Or did I understand that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what do they think happened after she was abducted? That she's just been. I wonder. if they think she's being held there or trafficked, maybe, or I don't know. That just
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was looking at. Is whether if they're hinting at some sort of trafficking,
yeah, that's the only
which
thing that would make sense to me is if they think she's still alive and but yet that she was abducted is, I mean, unless somebody there she's in somebody's basement. And I'm not trying to make light of it, or that she's being trafficked. I mean,
or I mean, if you think about the Cleveland case out there, the three missing, I mean, it's possible.
it's possible. Yeah, it is possible. Yeah,
It's possible that's is being held somewhere for many
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Uh, I Brady's around from this area. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Hi, Brady. Welcome in. Ah, thank you. Beautiful people. Okay. Oh, and you're from around this area. Oh, wow. Cool. It is an interesting area to live in this sometimes dusty, but great sunsets. We have great sunsets around here. And we have tons of sage too and things like that. Let me see. Dawn, I may miss your live tomorrow night, seeing a Bruce Springsteen movie in Manchester.
Well, actually,
Okay.
on that note, I'm going to push my Missing Monday live stream to Tuesday because I have not got anything ready yet. So it'll be Tuesday most likely. So
You've done a few Tuesdays, Mondays on Tuesdays.
yeah, well, some of them are selfish reasons because it depends on who's playing football on Monday night. So I think the last one I moved only because my Bears were playing on it. It's been a couple of weeks ago, but yeah. But no, this time it'll just purely be because I'm unprepared, unless I can just get everything done tonight, which
Hmm.
is highly doubtful. So I'm most likely going to push it to Tuesday. So
So Brady's originally
anyway,
from New Mexico. Okay. Wow. The suitcase killer. Yes. Um, that was an interesting case uh, uh, that had come up, and it wound up with, I think, if I'm not, hey Paula, I'm glad to see you in.
hey Miss Paula, good to see you, dear.
The suitcase killer, and this was in 2004, and a young man from, I think his name's Rodriguez, came up by bus, and they had video of him on bus coming up all the way up to Lubbock and um,
Where did he come from?
San Antonio,
Oh, okay, okay.
and he came up. I think he was in some sort of relationship with one girl, and then the other, I don't know, was if she was connected or, but he wound up uh, confessing to hers too in 2004, and she was found in the landfill,
Mm,
also in a suitcase. So two, but I
mm-hmm,
think the barcodes or the things that Walmart had on the suitcases, they were able to
mm-hmm.
determine and find video of him at the Walmart
Yeah.
purchasing the suitcases. Um, and so the I don't know how any of the family feel or around, if they feel like maybe this could be a potentially connected.
Mm-hmm.
Authorities don't seem to have found
Yeah.
any evidence uh, to that, and I would hope, I'd rather something else instead of, it's.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it, I think it turned out to be one of the in the world, at least to some point, one of the largest landfill
Oh
crime
wow.
scene, like, because they pulled
Yeah.
up, they were able to, because all the waste management systems had, they know exactly where each
Mm-hmm.
truck will um, uh, put out its put out the contents of its
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to go back and trace and do a grid search somehow, and remove and find both victims in suitcases.
It's just to me that's just a miracle, because in a lot of cases that I've looked at, and I don't know if any of that I've actually covered or shared, but a lot of victims have been found in landfills. And it just amazes me how they even. God bless the people who go through those landfills and are able to find those victims. It's just unbelievable. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the district attorneys really said uh, that what he remembers going out there um, were the smells. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and going out to the Lubbock landfill where a worker had discovered the suitcase containing um, the body of a young woman. And at first, the worker thought it was a practical joke.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it was common to find mannequins out in the landfill.
I was
Uh,
just thinking of Mr. Steve's mannequins.
oh, the
Yeah,
Brian
mannequins.
Kohlberger one.
Yeah, yes.
Yes,
Anyway,
his
yeah.
his name was Rosendo Rodriguez. Yeah.
Hey, far.
And yeah, after the uh they were left with an unclothed body, few clues, no identification except for an ankle tattoo and a crime scene, a very vast crime scene. Um,
Yeah, and like I said, it's just a miracle, because you said that was a pretty big one, right? A pretty big landfill.
yeah,
Wow,
it was a.
wow.
Unfortunately, they had the waste management system had one of the, but they don't just go and dump things out there. It's all gridded in a certain way.
Yeah.
Um, and they had to they had to identify the victim through tattoo and fingerprints. She would wind up being Summer Baldwin. That's the and and she had been a sex worker and a drug addict apparently. Um yeah, she had been beaten,
Mm.
asphyxiated and assaulted um and was pregnant at the same time.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah, and they were able to I think they were able to find I can't remember where or how they found Joanna Rogers. Um and he did a whole thing where he made a quite an error because I think he originally took a plea and took the death penalty off the table,
yeah, yeah.
and then he changed his mind, and the prosecutors put the death penalty back on the table, and then um, he was eventually executed in Texas for the crimes, both those. Hey, Junior from Kentucky. Hey, welcome in, Junior.
Hey, Junior, how you doing, friend? Junior's not in bed yet. It's not past his bedtime yet.
Yeah. Is FarQ in here?
Yeah, I think I saw her. She's under a different name, but
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't see
Jody. I think
FarQ.
it's Jody. If I'm not mistaken, because that's how when she called me, it's on my anything. Yeah, Jody Reason. I think that's FarQ. I believe. Somebody can fact check me, but uh,
So yeah, this was an interesting case, and not to take away from Jennifer's case here, because it could be unrelated. It could
mhm.
be, it could be absolutely unrelated. And the clearing of her boyfriend and her roommates, I think, are very important. I'm not sure how that was determined. Um,
Yeah,
there was no mention of how they determined they were not involved.
yeah.
But
Because my immediate would be the boyfriend. I mean, just to at least look at, and I'm sure they, like you said, if they cleared them, they must have found something. Maybe they had an airtight alibi, work, something that said, okay, you're cleared.
could
Hopefully it was
be
that way.
that set that up, and they were able to clear him pretty well.
Yeah,
And but this is another case where there's just nothing to go on. We don't know where the abduction took place or where the or whatever circumstances led
Hmm.
to Jennifer's disappearance. Um, and so this has left us with very little information and not a lot to go on as far as that. And um, yeah, and then there's a case where you have the common element and story of a young woman may be connected to uh, the drug scene or not. Her mother doesn't believe that.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's any evidence of that or
Yeah. Which she may, or like I said, we don't know for sure, but I'm not saying it's true in this case, but a lot of times, parents obviously don't want to believe that their children may be into certain things. Like I said, I'm not saying it's the case with this one, but like you said, they didn't have any really solid evidence to say for sure if she was in that kind of scene or not.
absolutely. And that's kind of, yeah. But I've seen this from even going all the way back to what was it? Years ago, I think it was in the 70s. This type of dynamic of it of like who was Pamela Pitts in Arizona, I think it was. Um, that one was a satanic panic one that
Oh
turned out
gosh.
because there were conspiracy theories. But it was
Yes, the
another young
satanic
woman
panic.
disappeared, and then I
Hmm.
think later uh, a boyfriend of I think actually the person who wound up being convicted for the crime wound up in a mine shaft out there. But there
Oh
was a lot
wow.
of that being connected to the drug scene. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. So
yeah.
do quick question before I forget. Going back to the since they may or may not be connected. Do the police think that this whatever his name was, the suitcase killer may have had more victims or no? Or did it say?
Didn't say in here, but uh I always believe I got the Matt Powell in this area is still an attorney around. Was the district attorney for a while, and he always believed it's from what I understand, if I'm remembering correctly, that there may be other victims. Um, n- and um, and so yeah, and he talks about. I don't know if he talks about it in this um in in this article that I was reading that is written. I think it's written by him,
Hmm.
and
Excuse me.
but it certainly lends itself to that. It's definitely if I mean given the time period, I would have to consider it, and they haven't
Yeah.
moved it off the table. They just,
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Hmm. Interesting. I might have to look into that deeper. I don't think I'd ever heard of that one of that case.
alright, well, are you ready to move on to your case?
Yeah. Well, actually, I had one more question about.
Sure.
So you said the car, her car was found at her house.
Mhm.
She didn't take any personal belongings except her purse. Is that what you said?
Yeah, there
Everything
was
else was found at her house.
everything was her keys, her car keys, yeah, was found. Where'd,
So that's just weird to me. I don't know. Unless there was, I mean, I don't know if there was anything within, like a gas station, grocery store within walking distance that she might have just grabbed her purse and walked to whatever and was planning on coming back, and then just something happened then. But it's just weird that because most of the time when people disappear, they don't even take their purse. I mean, they took nothing with them, no phone, no purse, no keys, nothing. But
oh, it does say her home was locked and her car this is from the Charlie Project, by the way. Her home
mhm.
was locked and her car keys and house keys were inside. She also left behind money and all her personal possessions except for her tan shoulder
For the
strap purse.
so another thing that doesn't make sense is so the key she left all the keys in the house, but the door was locked. So if she did just run out to run down the road and grab something, how was she going to get back in if she didn't have her key to unlock the door?
That's the part that I was in my mind stuck
Hmm.
out to me earlier,
Yeah,
is that her house was locked and her
yeah,
keys inside it.
yeah.
Um, could it be an incident where she locked herself out and then
Possibly.
went to go get help somewhere?
Yeah, yeah. It could be she was maybe in a hurry. Like I said, maybe there was something within walking distance. She's going to walk down real quick, walk back, just grabbed her purse. Maybe thought her keys were in the purse, locked the door. And then when she got back, she's like, "Oh crap, yeah, I don't have my keys," and then went somewhere to get. Yeah, absolutely, that would make sense.
Or whatever happened, or an abduction happened inside the house. It never really mentioned if the house, if there were things disturbed.
Yeah, I was
It
going to
didn't
ask.
seem
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
I don't know where her other 2 roommates were. Were
Oh, so
they
she had
there at
two
the time?
roommates.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Were they there, or were they out of the house? Out of the, I think they said it was a rental trailer,
Yeah.
uh, and,
So there's no statements from roommates about, yeah, she came home and left again, or
mhm.
Hmm,
I
interesting.
mean, she could have left thinking, I could come back, and if her
And
roommates were there, I could come
and they
back,
would let
knock
her
on the
back in.
door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
she coulda went to go meet somebody.
Hmm.
Um,
Did it
there's
say? I might have missed it. Did it say who reported her missing? Hey, Miss Barbara.
let's see, I can't remember. Said she didn't make it to her. Let me see. Hmm. No, it doesn't say who
Okay.
reported her missing. I don't know if it was connected to her work, if her work
Yeah,
called and said. Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah, that would be a interesting question to ask, is who
yeah,
reported her missing?
yeah. Was it the boyfriend? Was
The
it somebody from,
roommate?
like you said, from a work roommate? Because you would
Mm,
think that if the roommates were there, she left on whatever. This is all hypothetical. She left, and said, "I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to run down to the corner, grab something, and be back." You would have thought that they would have said something when she didn't come back, unless, I don't know. Strange,
yeah.
strange.
It but they were also looking for a suspicious vehicle in the area.
Oh, that's right. The black truck with the,
Low to
you
the
say, yeah,
ground,
low to the ground, had the stickers on the back. Did you say? I think maybe.
tires and decals on the back window.
Yeah.
May
So
have
that
had
would be.
hydraulics.
So that would, in my opinion, that would make it kind of easy to, you would notice something like that. I mean, or I would,
Hey,
you
Barb.
know.
Barb's
Hey,
in the
Miss
house.
Barbara. Good to see you, Miss Barb.
Oh, this is a case. Oh, Chris, this is one case that I plan on covering. Um, and has been. It was a chilling crime there, and there was a. I remember watching an interview with a little. Uh, uh, she was a little girl at the time, and oh my goodness, it was quite a thing. All right. Uh, I know when people say I'm going to bed early, they don't realize I'm an hour later. Yep.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, welcome in, everybody. All right. We're already almost to the top of the hour,
all
too, and I
right.
wanted, and we've only
I told
covered
you
things.
you're going to have to say time out for me, because you know how I like to ramble
Oh
and
no,
take
you
up
go
all the
ahead.
time.
We'll get through
Uh,
as much. Just let me know if you need to, you need to say, hey, this is, I need to stop here. Then we'll stop here. So,
we
all
go as
right,
long as you want to go, sir.
all right.
All right. Okay. So we ready for Nancy?
Yep.
All right, so this is Nancy Jean Medina. She has been missing since August 3rd, 1984, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And actually, one of the other cases that we're going to get to later is tied to this one, but we will get to that. She's a white female. She was just 36 years old when she went missing. She's about 5'3", 5'4", 132 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Her maiden name is Roselle. She may also use the last names Ball, England, or Kelly. She has a C-section scar on her lower abdomen and a scar on the inside corner of her left elbow. She was last known to be wearing a short-sleeved multicolored blouse, blue jeans, pink and white Nike shoes, rings and earrings. She was carrying a purse with her driver's license, possibly glasses, and just other items in the purse. So, goodness gracious, what am I doing? Okay. So Nancy was last seen on August 3rd, 1984, after she dropped her 2 children off with a babysitter at Southwest 32nd and Choctaw Road. She had planned to watch some videos with friends. It's unclear whether she ever arrived to whatever friend's house that she was going to go watch videos with, because she was never seen or heard from again after she dropped the children off with the babysitter. So later that month, on either August 15th or August 22nd, so there's kind of a week differential there, her brown 1974 Chevy Impala was found stripped and abandoned around 20 miles away at the intersection of Spring Lake Drive and Eastern, and it said it was near the entrance to the old Spring Lake amusement park. So at the time of her disappearance, Nancy was in the middle of a divorce and custody battle, so that always raises my red flags right there. But they say her husband has never been named as a suspect in her case, but he hasn't been ruled out either, so he's kind of just sitting there, you know. So Nancy had a previous husband that did have a history with police. Apparently he had been a suspect in a homicide, and Nancy had been his alibi. So Nancy's 16-year-old stepdaughter, which was the daughter of the man I guess would be her second husband, the one she was married to when she disappeared. She also disappeared. Her name is Meredith. She disappeared from Midwest City, Oklahoma, 4.5 years after Nancy in February of 1989. Both of their cases are unsolved. It says foul play is suspected in Nancy's disappearance. So that's about all the information Charlie Project had. And I do have an article, but I'm not going to get into it until after we go into Meredith's case, because it kind of talks about both of them.
Okay. And there was a 4.5-year gap between their
Yes.
disappearance.
Yep. So Nancy went missing, which was stepmother, stepdaughter, went missing in August of 84. And then Meredith, who was her stepdaughter, went missing around Valentine's Day, if I remember correctly, February of 1989.
And if I remember correctly, there was a divorce or something going on at this time.
Yes, Nancy was in the middle of a divorce, a custody battle. I think because I came across several articles, well, not several, but one that had or it might have been on Web Sleuths, that said it was over custody of their youngest child. But it didn't say, I can't remember how old the child actually was. So like I said, and you know, whenever it comes up that there's a divorce, especially a custody battle, that always raises my red flags. Yeah. But, you know, they said that her husband, the one that she was getting a divorce from and in this custody battle with, not named as a suspect, but hasn't been ruled out. So to me, that says there may be, you know, not sure, or they're, you know, at that time. Now, I don't know. Hopefully somebody is still working on it somewhere. Or maybe they're just trying to gather enough evidence or something to be able to press charge, you know, bring in any kind of charges. So, but yeah, and it did not say. No, she dropped her two children off with the babysitter, but she never made it to the place, to her friend's place that they were going to watch videos. So, and I
Yeah.
don't know how far apart. You're good with the maps, but I don't know how far apart where she was where she dropped the kids off with the babysitter was from where she was supposed to go to this friend's house. And then the car was found like 20 miles away. So very,
Yeah, the
very
car,
strange.
very strange
And
disappearance.
it was stripped. They said it was stripped. Um, so was this like a carjacking type of thing? And I don't know. But the car was found stripped and abandoned 18 to 20 miles away, close to this Spring Lake amusement park. So
Interesting. Or
mhm,
it was stripped to make it look like a
true,
carjacking.
true, absolutely.
That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
D-
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Oklahoma cold case thing, I think I remember reading in there that a second husband was
Yes,
uh,
her first. Well, I don't know if it's I don't know actually how many husbands she had altogether, but if I the husband she had before, it just says a previous husband did have a history with the police. He had been a suspect in a homicide,
in a
and
different
Nancy
homicide.
in a different homicide, and Nancy had been his alibi. So could it have something to do with that?
Ooh.
That's the first thing that came to my mind, or one of the things that came to my mind too,
Hmm.
because I didn't say that he ever went to trial. Maybe with her alibi, if it could be that he had nothing to do with it, but he was a suspect. She was his alibi.
You
So
know, Barbara, Barb, I think you're right. She looks like a sweet woman, and I went through and I picked pictures that really expressed that when I went through here. Because Don let me put the slides together. Um,
Josh's slides look so much better than mine do.
oh, but I just even the grainy one on the left, I just found the expression on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find one where just she seems like a person that was full of life,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
it's tragic that something like this, took place, and it just seems so weird that it seems like there's more at play here than
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because, like I
just
said, I have questions about this previous husband and the suspect and the alibi. Could it have been because she gave him an alibi, but he made her do it, or he told her to do it, asked her to do it, and then maybe if allegedly if he had something to do with this other homicide, that she might have been told him, well, maybe we shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't do this, and because it didn't say as far as Charlie Project goes how long it was when he was the suspect in this homicide and she was the alibi, and then the time she disappeared. I don't know what kind of length of time it was in between. So
the Oklahoma cold cases here also says that they're not sure exactly what evidence was found in the car, but they believe that the evidence led law enforcement to think that a struggle had occurred in the vehicle.
yes, I do remember because I did read skim over that Oklahoma cold case thing. Yeah, that's one of the articles I looked at. Yeah, but yeah, I believe that's yeah. So I don't know.
Ooh,
Like I said, was it the previous husband and something to do with this other case and the alibi, and she changed her mind and told him, and he wanted to get rid of her. I mean, was it like I said? It could carjacking. I mean, unfortunately, the possibilities are endless. um,
absolutely. I
but
there's and sometimes we're at a impasse where there's just a lot of possibilities due to the lack of information, and
absolutely.
I know that sometimes law enforcement keeps some things close to the vest,
Hmm.
so that they can prosecute later
Yeah.
and have a successful
Hmm.
prosecution.
And maybe
Um,
that could have something to do with the, you said, they found maybe signs of a struggle and some evidence, that they're not saying anything about the evidence for that reason, even though it's been so many years now. But maybe they're trying to, maybe there's some cold case unit or, that's working on it somewhere out there. I think there is, because I think in the article um, that I'm going to read for after we look at Meredith's case, a fairly recent article, it does mention a cold case unit. So hopefully they're still working on it and
would you like
trying to
to
put.
go? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say hopefully they can find something. Anything else there is to find.
Um, because of how these are connected, would you like to go on to Meredith's case?
We can if you want to. Yeah,
Yeah, let's
because
do that.
because there is not there's even less information on Meredith's case than there is on Nancy's case. There she is. Yeah, so Meredith, she is missing from Midwest City, Oklahoma. She was just 16 years old when she went missing. She was tiny too, 5'3", around 110 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She has a scar on the left side of her forehead. It said that she may have been wearing glasses. Her ears are pierced. Her nickname is Mere, Mere. They say she also might go by her middle name, Ann. So her name is Meredith Ann Medina. So she basically, all the information is she was last seen at her family's residence in Midwest Oklahoma on February 14th, 1989. It does say that authorities believe that she did leave of her own accord. Meredith's stepmother, Nancy, who we were just talking about, also disappeared from Oklahoma City 4.5 years before. Once again, they were a stepmother, stepdaughter. Neither of the women have been heard from again. The case remains unsolved. So that is the Charlie Project information. So yeah, just so little information, and I know we're going to talk about it later about the lack of information in a lot of these cases. Let me see if hopefully this article will load, and it's not very long, but excuse me. Once again, I apologize for the
So,
scratchy and the sniffing here.
but my question is because according to Oklahoma cold cases, she was classified as a endangered runaway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Four and a
Oh,
half.
come
I wonder what
on.
led them to believe that,
I don't know. It's
or is
taking
it
a
the lack of
little bit.
information that really?
That might be it. The lack of information. Come on, my article's still loading. My farm signal has kicked in. Oh
Well,
Lord, have
this is
mercy.
yeah, this is kind of like, and I just realized today my first episode where I did Dorian Thomas,
Hmm.
a 9-year-old who went missing in Amarillo. It's also like nobody came forward uh, uh, with the saying something about what they saw about an abduction. We don't know where the location.
Hmm.
He was just last seen leaving his home, so we don't know what other location.
Hmm.
And so,
All right, I think, yeah, I think my article finally came up. So this is actually a recent article. It's from February of this year, and it kind of talks about Nancy and Meredith. So a mother and daughter are both still missing decades after their disappearance, and the last time one of them was seen was on Valentine's Day. So the cases of Nancy and Meredith Medina both start in the 1980s. Neither one of them has been solved. Meredith, who is the stepdaughter, was last seen in Midwest City on Valentine's Day in 1999, just a few years after Nancy, the stepmother, disappeared. Kaylin Reeve, who's with Oklahoma Cold Cases, said, quote, whether there could be a connection to Nancy's disappearance with Meredith missing. Maybe potentially Meredith witnessed something as far as Nancy's disappearance goes. We don't, but she said we don't know any of that information for sure. So Meredith, once again, was just 16 years old in 1989 when she vanished on February 14th. Her case is still open. And she is the daughter of Nancy's estranged husband. I'm assuming it's the one that Nancy was in the middle of getting the divorce from and the custody battle when she disappeared. I'm assuming that that's who Meredith's father is. So going back to Nancy, she had dropped off her 2 younger children with the babysitter. She headed off. Now, this article said that she headed off to meet her older daughter to watch movies at her daughter's house. Now, Charlie Project, we all know sometimes Charlie Project information can be a little hinky. So in Charlie Project information, it said that she was going to go to a friend's house to watch movies. Now, this article says she was going to her daughter's house to watch movies. So it make it to me that's a key difference, because I mean, you know, if you're just going to a friend's house and you don't make it, you know, friends might say, oh, she may have decided not to come or whatever. But you would think if she was headed to her daughter's house, something happened, she wasn't going to make it. She would have at least let her daughter know that something happened and she wasn't going to make it. That was just my thought. So Reeve, with nonprofit Oklahoma Cold Cases, said that Nancy was last seen on August 3rd, 1984 in Choctaw. Once again, she was driving the 1974 Chevy Impala that was later tracked down by police. Reeves says the car she was driving that night was found 18 to 20 miles away at an intersection near an amusement park. So I wonder if and it said it was, I think, an old amusement park. So I'm assuming that it was closed down. I wonder if they did any searches in that amusement park for her body, maybe, or for her. Just a thought.
Yeah.
She said, so this Reeve says we don't know much about what was found inside the vehicle, just like you were saying, other than there potentially was a struggle, and we don't know what evidence they found to indicate what happened. So it says that intersection was by the old Spring Lake amusement park that used to stand near Martin Luther King Avenue and Spring Lake Drive. Once again, Nancy was in the middle of this divorce and custody battle at the time she went missing. It says there are questions surrounding her husband at the time, because remember they said he's not been, I guess, officially named as the suspect, but he hasn't been ruled out either. She says he's never been officially named as a person of interest, but we feel he could potentially be. And we've talked about the previous husband. Reeves says we do know that she had another husband previous to that. He was a suspect in a different homicide, and that, once again, Nancy was his alibi. Both cases still remain unsolved. Neither Nancy nor Meredith have been found. So that's basically, yeah. So that was all. Yeah, that was that article. So I don't know. I just find it. I mean, in my opinion, I will go more with what the cold case site said, that she was going to her daughter's house. Because, like I said, I don't know, Charlie Project sometimes gets stuff wrong. But you would, like I said, you would think that if it was her daughter, she would, let her daughter know. And if it was her daughter, did her daughter say, "Hey, mom never made it to the house"? You would think that if she did, and that her daughter would have came forward to say something. And it could be that she did, and they just, hasn't been put out publicly anywhere that, So, because I think we're still on who reported her missing. I'm unsure. I can't remember if it said who reported her missing. So it's just in my opinion, there has to, I don't know. I say has to be a chance that there's, I don't know, maybe it could be connected. But it didn't say, as far as Meredith goes, she was 16 years old, probably a normal teenager, was just like the one you were talking about. Was she known to be in any kind of what kind of people did she hang out with? Whether, the bad crowd, good crowd, whatever, whatever the case may be. It doesn't really say. So,
I remember watching a documentary on this
okay.
amusement park,
Oh, okay.
and it had a Big Dipper like roller coaster that was famous for many years, but
hmm
it shut down in 1981.
In 81. So
Mhm.
it was already shut down when, yeah, because Nancy went missing in, what I say, 80, 84, 85. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I said, I'm wondering if since her car, Nancy's car was found so close to this amusement park and it was shut down, if they did any kind of searches in there for her possible remains. I mean,
Mhm.
you would hope so, since being that close and it was abandoned. Plenty
Right,
of
and there
places in the amusement park to hide stuff. Let's just put it that way. Um,
um yeah, previous to that, it had went through years after a it was really popular in the 50s and 60s, and then there was, after the civil rights passing, and then, um, African Americans were allowed to, uh had greater access to that park, and
mhm,
um, there was a violent clash that happened in 1971 at the park, um,
okay.
a racial clash, and then
hmm
it just went downhill from there, and it I remember just, the documentary only the amphitheater really is left, uh, from that,
hmm
of the original. A lot of the material got actually sold to some amusement park in Peru.
Oh, really?
And,
Wow. Okay.
uh, but I don't
Uh,
know if that happened right away. Like, was that
yeah.
stuff still there, you
Yeah, I was
know?
gonna say, wonder if that stuff was still there. I mean, how much stuff was still there? But still,
Yeah.
even if a lot of the stuff had been sold, that's still in a lot of open, like the landfill, right? A lot of open territory that's probably grown up, grassy. I'm sure they probably didn't have. I'm not gonna say I'm sure. I'm gonna assume they didn't do a lot of maintenance. So there, you could. I mean, we all know, it's hard to find things in the grassy areas, woods, whatever, a place like this that may not, you know, have been taken care of, had grass growing. You can hide stuff. You can hide stuff very easily.
Or something could have been taken away, from there,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
body hidden, and it was taken away.
And taken away. Yep. Yep. Like I said,
Um,
there's lots of play, especially if they're now. Once again, you say, we don't know how much stuff was actually left, but I mean, there's lots of stuff in because I love amusement parks. I did when I was younger. Not so much anymore, but
hmm,
yeah, lots of things that you could put something in and take it away, and nobody would ever know the difference.
hmm.
So,
And I imagine this park, it boggles it makes me wonder if she was there at that location or if just the car is dumped there. Oh,
exactly, exactly, because the car was stripped, and once again, like you said, it could have been stripped to make it look like a carjacking or whatever.
but I could
Yeah,
imagine a place what other play an abandoned amusement park you could sit there and probably strip a car
and yeah, nobody
clean
would
with
pay
nobody
attention.
without anybody paying it being noticed.
Yep,
And this is
exactly.
before the days of, security cameras and stuff like that.
Mhm,
I wonder if a
mhm.
drug scene was out there?
See, that's what I'm wondering, if you know what was, once again, with the lack of information. Like I just said,
Mhm,
I know we're going to talk about that aspect of it later, but it's, what kind of place was it? Like you said, we know it was abandoned, but did druggies hang out there? Did what was going on there? Was something going on there? Illegal? being that it was abandoned area.
Mm,
That would it was Nancy into that kind of whatever if something like that was going on? Did she have that kind of
mm,
lifestyle or connected to anybody with that lifestyle? So
yeah.
all valid questions, important questions that will help us, make more have a little bit of more of an idea of what to which direction to go.
Hmm. That's just interesting. I
Mhm.
hmm. Well, yeah, that just makes me it's and it's hard to disassociate this case if they are separate.
Mhm.
My
I
inclination,
know.
I think somebody, even Junior said, I wonder if the same person is involved.
Yep.
And it's hard
Was
not
it?
to draw
Yeah.
that conclusion. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, because it would have been, well, if we go on the assumption, just to speculate here for a minute, if we go on the assumption that it was Nancy's husband at the time that did that had something to do with her disappearance, that would mean it would have been Meredith. I'm assuming it would have been Meredith's father because they were they were stepmother, stepdaughter. So that makes it even more horrible if they are connected. If he was, he had anything to do with it. But
yeah. Hmm. Well,
yeah,
it sounds like this area was a well-known area to Oklahoma City residents. People
okay.
may have been familiar with it. People who worked there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I don't know what
Yeah.
her husband did for work.
Yeah. I don't either. It didn't say. Didn't say.
Um, and so hmm, interesting.
Yep.
Y- Yeah. Well, I hope justice uh, comes for both their cases here,
Yeah.
um, regardless if they're connected or not. Um,
Yeah.
and it may be also a situation where they endangered runaway. It could be there may be some truth to that to get away from.
Yeah, to get away from maybe what was going on, which was 4.5 years later, but still, I mean,
She
to
was
get
still
away
a minor
from,
at this time.
yeah, she was six. I believe Meredith was, yeah, 16 when she ran away or what, yeah. So it could have been something was going on, at the house or whatever, and she just wanted to get away from it. Also a
Maybe
possibility.
had no choice, just
True. Yep. Unfortunately, it's so sad, but it is true. Yep.
so there is you know the possibility that maybe she found a new life away
Hmm.
from all of this and
We
doesn't
can
want to
hope. Yeah.
come.
Yeah. Best case scenario, she just left and got out of there, found a whatever, living her best life now, away from whatever may have been going on in her life, in her household, and she's happy and living life. We can hope.
Hey,
We can hope. That's what
Sensei!
that in my head.
Sensei's
Sensei,
in the
oh, Sensei
house.
Wakadoodle. Hey,
Yeah!
Sensei. Haven't seen Sensei in a long time. Good to see ya.
Welcome in, Sensei. Oh my goodness. It's been a long time. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and things like that. Okay. So what I will do is go back and I'm probably just going to take just to go back and look at some other. I've got two more cases. I can't remember if there's another one for you or not, Dawn.
I just
Um,
had one more, but there's not a lot of
oh, okay.
information. Not whole lot of information, but whatever you
And
want to do, sir.
this is coming up to cases that I had, and I looked very, very hard for information, and it just was not uh, happening. Information in some of these
It's
cases. This
no.
is a little bit more recent. Um, this is Alyssa McDermott. Let me get let me pull up my notes real quick. Um, Elisa McDermott. She was born on Christmas Day, 1997. Um,
Oh wow, Christmas
she
baby.
Christmas baby. Yeah, and she was 25 years old when she went missing not too long ago, on is that June 29th, 2023. Um, and I went with the presumption that I would be able to find information about this person because of how recent. Uh, I know that some are. Um, Sometimes I have the presumption that these newer cases, people cover them, and you can find news articles on them. You can find news reports on them. None of that
Mm-hmm.
exists in this case here. And
Yep.
but she went missing from Lubbock, Texas. Uh, and she's 5 foot, 105 pounds. She's a Asian female, blonde hair, green eyes. She has multiple tattoos, including a Hawaiian Women of the Year with 1997 on the inside of her calf, a koi fish on her right thigh.
Okay.
If you're familiar with koi fish, they're from Hawaii, or
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're in other places too, but koi fish, the little
Yeah, don't people have a? Is it the koi fish that people have ponds? Koi fish ponds?
yeah, the orange,
Little
and I used
self-made.
to, as a
Yeah.
kid, call them
Yeah.
creamsicle fish,
Yeah.
because they were
Yes. Now I want one of those orange creamsicles. Oh, those are so good. Anyway,
I could go for an orange creamsicle right
sorry.
now. No.
You know
Um,
me, squirrel. Yeah, uh, I get
and
distracted. Sorry.
no problem. She had a dotted lace pattern on her chest, a blue flower, and a grim reaper on her forearm, right forearm. And this is where it gets really. I found no other information. Even the Charlie Project one was very, very limited. Um,
Hmm.
she was last seen in Lubbock on June 29th, 2023, and never heard from again.
Wow.
And just mentions that there are a few details released
Hmm.
in her case. And I was going to talk about that. What happens when, because, and this is, to me, I took for granted, because I usually think the newer cases have a lot of information that you can go off of. And
Yep.
right now we just have her tattoos.
Hmm.
And but I wanted to really concentrate, really kind of talk about kind of fish as a massive goldfish. Yeah. Um Koi. I don't know what Konoboy is. Auto spell, yes. I auto spell.
Damn
Oh,
autocorrect. Is Dandy
yeah.
here? It always gets Dandy with autocorrect. It gets me
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. So but one of the things
You're
that
just used to say.
I have connections to Hawaii. I was born there, and uh she may have been native Hawaiian, or had native connections, or Polynesian family history. I have
Hmm.
none of that. I'm Irish and German and Jewish. Uh, but um but I just pictured her, just how much with the Hawaiian Women of the Year, with her birth date on it, how much she connected with her Asian ancestry. And maybe
Yeah, I was
it's
going to ask about the tattoo. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, that
oh,
tattoo
go
is
ahead.
kind of. I was like, what? Hawaiian Woman of the Year? Okay. Um. Anyway.
Absolutely. I think there's some connection there. It didn't say where she, or how she came to Lubbock, or how she got here, or if she's
Hmm.
from the islands.
Yeah.
and is a Pacific Islander. I'm taking that guess to mean from the tattoo that that's a
Hmm.
good possibility, and
So is the,
that
what is the Hawaiian Woman of the Year? Is it like a, I'm confused, or is it just the tattoo that it does mean something to her? I didn't know if the Hawaiian Woman of the Year was a thing,
I,
like
I do believe that
a
there
pageant or
is.
something.
I do believe there is a pageant
Okay.
called Hawaii Woman of the Year,
Okay.
and
Okay.
um, and she put her birth date on there, and I just like with with some of the connections that I know, and with people they're natives. It's a lot of the native communities in Oahu are disappearing.
Mm,
They're being priced out um of their own. So some of them come to the continental, and some of them because if you've ever watched like Dog the Bunny Bounty Hunter, that's
hmm.
kind of where he's at, is on that island of Oahu.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a lot of poverty, and you see a lot of wealth, and you see a lot of affluency. You see the big buildings and the hotels, the limousines, the uh,
Hmm.
surfing, the uh, things like that. But there's an underbelly that you don't quite see all the time. And
Hmm.
some Pacific Islander, if they're having a struggle, and I'm not saying that that's what she is doing, uh, but I've met other people from the island here out in the middle of nowhere. How do you go from tropical paradise to semi-arid cacti
To
and
Lubbock. Yeah. To
and
Texas.
flat
Definitely
land?
getting. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Culture shock. Why? Yeah.
I've met a few of them that, oh my goodness, came out here to because either they had family or they knew people out here, but also to escape the influences or the drug scene that's there on Oahu, and I don't even know if she was connected to another island there,
Yeah.
or I'm just going with Oahu uh, at the moment because that's the island I'm most familiar with and have been to the most.
Yeah.
Um,
I was going to ask
and
you if there was a lot of big drug scene. Was there high? Yeah. A lot of what at the rate of like alcoholism and drug use and things of like that in that area.
absolutely,
Okay.
and especially with native communities that struggle
Hmm.
with poverty, with
Yeah.
unemployment,
Hmm.
um, and you'll see even a among like shop owners and and business owners and stuff, kind of a begrudging attitude towards sometimes native people there, so they're
Yeah.
caught on their own island uh
Yeah.
with struggling with
So,
certain uh
yeah.
aspects there. And if you watch like Dog the Bounty Hunter, you see that kind of like underbelly more so than in
Yeah.
some other shows and stuff like that. And so um I don't know if that's the case for her or if there was a connection there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's at all because I have no information about that. But there
Hmm.
could be reasons why she's here if she was from Hawaii, the Hawaiian, or if she just had Hawaiian and maybe it's a second generation come over, you know,
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
parents could be. I just saw and it could be she's connected to other Polynesian and Asian communities there on the island as well. There's
Hmm.
Vietnamese, there's actually a Hispanic community there as well, big Hispanic community. They're closer to Schofield, the army base there. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's Japanese, there's
Hmm.
Chinese communities on the islands and also on the other islands and things like that. And
Yeah.
so yes, the tattoo had her birth year on it, Sensei. Yeah. With Hawaiian Women of the Year inside her calf there.
So we don't
Also,
actually know if she was born in Hawaii or born in,
I have
somewhere in
no
the
idea.
state, Texas, whatever, Like I said, it's frustration with little information.
But
Oh,
I wanted to give something to her, and I don't know if it's imposing an identity that's not hers. And I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
meaning to do that. I'm just drawing
yeah.
from, and I
Oh,
wanted to
yeah.
highlight her and with the amount of information I don't have with,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to make sure that she gets the same amount of attention as some of our
absolutely,
other cases where there's a lot of information. And
absolutely.
I could just see it looks like she's 25 years old, so she's outside the college age. I don't know if she came out here for
Mhm.
college. I meet a lot of those who from the island, um, and I've met people who are born in the same hospital I was, you know,
Oh, really?
this small
Wow.
island.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And
Uh,
so I feel a connection, and I
yeah,
hope she's
yeah,
okay. I hope that this was,
absolutely.
um I hope that she would be found, or that if she needs to stay away from a family situation or something like that. Not
And
that
that
I
could
can
be the
tell,
case.
Sensei. There is no, and I thought I would be able to get a lot more information than I had, because I most of the time when I see this, sometimes it's a minor where police, especially if it's actually connected to trafficking, there's not a lot of
Mhm.
information because it's sealed.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, true, true. Yeah,
and law enforcement either knows more about that situation and they're trying to keep the child
protect the
safe.
child.
They
Yeah.
don't release a lot of information
Mhm.
away, but this still could be connected to human trafficking. It could be connected
Yeah, because she's
there.
only what, 25? Yeah, most
And
definitely.
last year, I think it was, this area had 6 human trafficking. There was 11.
Wow.
There was 11 last year, 2024, and her year 6 human trafficking cases,
Wow.
in this
Mhm.
area, that would be that would be, and this could be very well connected to something like that. I'm
True.
hoping not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if there was problems at home. I don't know.
Mhm.
There's just, I mean, this one is just wide open. We don't know where in Lubbock.
Yeah. Yeah. So they don't have an actual approximation of it was her home or store or a bar or a club or what, anything like that. Usually at least there's something like that, but yeah, this one is
No, sensei. Absolutely. I had that same question. Was she
yep.
working, studying something?
Mhm.
Um, Not a thing. Not a lot of times in these cases, if families aren't throwing a fit, they don't do anything, while my case didn't want to do anything anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
As far as I can tell, there's been no news coverage and no family. So I wonder if she had family out here, or was she
I was gonna
out
say it
here?
could be that by herself.
I know of someone also too that was out here to escape um a an abusive situation, and they were very private about their lives. And
Mhm.
so I don't know how who reported her missing. Um
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a work, or if she did have family out here or a friend. But
Yeah.
I there are cases, there is a case I remember years ago. I think it came out, like, well, the case is old, but it was from 2012, I think it was, or somewhere. I remember it took place in Manhattan, and or outside of Manhattan, or the victim was from Manhattan, and I think it was maybe in Brooklyn or something. Somebody was cleaning out had bought a property and cleaned out a crawl space, and there was a barrel there, and they thought to call out professionals
Hazmat.
who deal with hazard. Yeah, and they wound up opening it, and there was a woman inside with 1960s like clothing, and they
Oh
had
my goodness.
it was filled with these plastic beads or uh, uh, things like popcorn packaging material, like things.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And
Wow.
they found an address book and a purse and an ID in there, and so they found out who she was, and then or they couldn't ID. I can't remember if an ID was in. I think they had to call out an ID of somebody because she was preserved
Yeah.
enough that they could get a face, and they put
Wow.
out her face in New York, and I think a Puerto Rican woman recognized it and went, "That's my friend
Oh my goodness.
from way back in the 60s." And she
Yeah.
disappeared.
Wow. Yeah.
And and back then we didn't talk to the police. And she said she had a lot of friends that actually, would go back home and she would never hear from them again. So yeah, they were missing, but you
Wow.
thought, the going to the police wasn't an option, and you would just hope that they made it back home or wherever they were going. But she remembers her
Wow.
being pregnant with a
Oh
owner,
no.
with the like a CEO, and that's exactly whose
Oh.
home or that property used to belong to. And so
Oh. Imagine that.
so she was never reported missing. And
Wow.
and just it was just it's scary out there.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what if she
Wow.
escaped an abusive situation and the abuser is trying to find her too? That's part of
Mhm.
the sometimes doing these missing persons, what if they don't want it or need to be found?
Exactly. And
Oh, it
and a lot of these that we cover could be that people did, well, like you said, trying to leave some kind of home situation, abusive situation, and they just don't want to be found, and then so they disappear. But somebody says, "Hey, I haven't seen like this lady. I haven't seen my friend. I'm going to say something, report her missing." So she's reported missing, and that's why there's so little information on cases like
yeah,
this.
and
I
that's
mean,
or maybe that's why even friends in law enforcement are being very quiet about this.
yeah, maybe, and that maybe that's why the friends don't say anything because they know, okay, I know my friend is gone away on, of her own, or because of this reason, trying to escape this situation. So I'm not going to say anything so she can escape and be safe. So
And so I often wonder, the implications of sharing some with little information. But at the same time, I can't sit
yeah,
here and
but
not recognize
yeah, we
people.
can't. Yeah, because that this case may have, it could be that something did happen to her. She didn't disappear of her own accord, and it's just that there's no one. She didn't have family around. Nobody report. Well, somebody had to report her missing, obviously, but yeah, it's just you never know. So you don't want to ignore it just because frustrating.
Um, Sensei, you're exactly right. It was that uh,
Oh yeah, those little bead
polystyrene.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
polystyrene.
yeah,
But and I think that's been some years ago, but it was somewhere in the 2000 two 2000s, and it wound up being somebody with little information, and they had to go back to her family in Puerto Rico, I think it was, or Guatemala. I can't remember which one it was,
yeah.
and tell her family that she had been
Wow.
found. And they had to track down that person too that owned that property, and he wound up taking his life.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah. Take it
Oh,
as soon as
so
he
this
knew
was
the
the
police was on him.
He
Did
yeah,
we lose you,
took the coward's way out allegedly.
Sorry, I didn't catch you, Don. What you said? You kind of froze up.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say the CEO. Yeah, maybe allegedly, if he had anything to do with it, took the coward's way out after he found out that my secret is out.
My secret is out.
That might not have been the case, but just
I can't remember if
that's a
they.
good
I
question.
think they mentioned how they were able to do an autopsy, and she was so well preserved that they were able to determine a cause of death.
I wonder, not to get too morbid or graphic, but I wonder how she was so well preserved. I mean,
It was an airtight
just
55
found in the
gallon drum.
barrel. Okay, yeah. So that would make
Yeah,
sense, yeah, because you said that the face was recognizable,
she was
even being
sealed.
that long.
I can't believe that this person left. It was a very heavy Sensei. It's a little bit out of the area I was hoping to do, but we could possibly have an open
Yes, we have to
discussion
do a show
night
on
on
that.
it. uh,
Yes.
because it's
So you
very
got me thinking about it
fascinating.
now. I'm like, yeah.
It's very
And I'm
fascinating.
gonna have to look into this suitcase killer guy too. You got me thinking about that one too.
Well, I'm thinking about doing a show on the suitcase killer one as well too, and so
Please.
and doing that one. Although that one I have been concentrating on unsolved ones, but I'll probably do
Yeah.
this, especially if it's I know law enforcement and other, especially if it turns out that um, um, that there is a connection, with Jennifer's case. If there is a connection, it would be interesting,
Yeah.
and in that, so
Most definitely.
well, we're coming up
And
onto
if
the top. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was gonna say, yeah, especially if it did have anything to do with, like you said, with other, or if he had other possible potential other victims.
Absolutely, especially in this area or in San
Mm-hmm.
Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, taking a look back to Amarillo. Amarillo, another one also with very little information out there about her is Brandy Gay Noble, and disappeared from uh, Amarillo, Texas, which is up further up the Panhandle. And this one was March 1st of 2002. She went missing. She was born April 26th, 1986. Um, she's classified as endangered missing. She was 15 years old at the time. 5'3" to 5'4", 100 pounds. She had brown hair, hazel eyes. She went by BG, Boo Boo, and Little Brandy. Brandy was last seen in Amarillo, Texas on March 1st, 2002. She has never been heard from again. She was not reported missing for 6 months because it wasn't uncharacteristic for her to drop out of sight for months at a time. Authorities said they had tips that Brandy was in Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, or still in Texas, but none of that information has ever been confirmed. Uh, some agencies classify her as a runaway, but foul play is a possibility in her case. She was involved in unspecified dangerous activities before she went missing, and her case remains unsolved. Yeah, you do hear about these situations of people being found in obscure ways. Yeah, and I hope that's not the case for Brandy here. Um, it really upsets me how many people are missing, vanish into thin air, and I kind of feel like this. She wasn't reported missing for 6 months. after
It,
no, and I've heard of a lot of cases like this too,
did it? I mean, I saw
especially
if I
in
missed it. Did it say who reported her missing or no?
no, just that
Of
she
course,
wasn't
just that.
reported
Yeah,
and that it was she would disappear for a long periods of time in the past. So
so that could be the reason. That happens a lot of times if people have been known to disappear for long periods of time, but then come back home. That's why, because we're gonna say, why did it take 6 months for her to be reported missing? Those are the kind of cases that's why it takes so long in some of those
yeah,
cases, because they just
and it
think, hey,
may
they'll be back.
yeah, and it also speaks to how there's little information about because where did she go missing from? And if
Yeah,
it's 6 months later, uh, I can imagine somebody reporting it, and maybe there were acquaintances or friends or family,
yeah,
and uh, they were going, "When did you last see her? Or when did you last see her?"
exactly. Yeah,
um,
it's like, yeah, it's
and
so sad.
fif-
Those sad.
sad and 15 years old.
Yeah,
Um,
especially that young. I mean,
yeah, she's 15 and a minor. It makes suspicious from the start, and I just know they have an age progression photo there, and then I can't help but notice, and I usually try to avoid appearance like things. The picture here, she looks tired. Um,
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, she looks like, I mean, she could be, 40, 50, 60, not by looks, but just by the expression on her face is like a 50, 60, an older person that's just had a rough life and just, yeah, but she's 15 years old and already has that kind of,
I just see eyes that may have seen more than what a 15-year-old should have seen. So I don't know, and I
exactly.
just yeah. Was she in the care system? That's a good question.
Good question.
But yeah, but then that makes me question whether why wasn't she reported missing for I mean, this reminds me of what's her name? Emily, a case right now where she in New Mexico. Um,
Mm,
Emily Pike. Um,
yes. Yep. Yep.
was in the care system. She was found deceased on the side of the road, but there had been a long
Mm,
period of her being in the care system and her running away from that care system and them not being quite honest
hmm.
about those disappearances and things like that.
And unfortunately, that happens a lot too with
Yeah,
the care system. And yes, I do
absolutely.
realize they're overworked, underpaid, all that stuff, but still, you know, that's how kids fall through the cracks.
Yeah, it looks like she has trauma and troubles that are going on. And this is now
Exactly.
going back to 2002. So she's what in her 39 about now? Wasn't reported. Yeah, where was the school? Was she in school? Yeah, I smell a rat too.
Hmm.
For 6 months. Yeah, for 6 months since I not reported missing from a school, a care system, acquaintances, uh, family. There are some situations. Like I don't even know if she was reported missing from Amarillo. That it doesn't say,
Wow.
and that could be.
Mm,
I've suspected a lot of some missing cases in Amarillo because it's right there on the Route 66, and
yeah.
it's one of the only stops before you go further west. Um, to
Yeah.
to So it's a trucker place. Trucks stop in there. They've got big truck, and so I feel like that could be a possibility of something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talked about truck stops on my live streams. They're very dangerous places, especially for women, for young any age woman, but especially younger women,
Yeah,
alone, possibly. You know,
and
yeah.
possibly running away from one abusive situation to find themselves in a whole
And then
another dangerous
and
situation.
another could have hitched a ride with a trucker or somebody that a non-trucker that was at a truck stop and that had nefarious intentions, and you know,
Mustang
just too many
says
horrible possibilities to think about.
Mustang grew up in the care system and ran away a lot in the 80s, 90s. Could be. Could and so there's a lot of ways you probably know more than most of what could have been going on and what experiences and stuff like that. Uh Makes you think, give them 6 months head start. Yeah. Of whoever's responsible for the disappearance.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping she is responsible for her own disappearance. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that she found a nice place and or a nice person, nice friends,
Mhm.
and once again living her best life. Absolutely.
Oh, I must have.
Mm.
Yeah.
Must have,
Amarillo.
my mom loves that song. I love that song.
Yes.
George Strait. George
George
Strait.
Strait. Thanks, Barbara. I'm good.
Uh,
As long as I stay away from my dysfunctional family members. Yeah.
Good luck with
And
that.
probably.
All families have them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So we understand that. So we're coming up on the top of the hour. I probably have to call it quits here in a little bit. Did we have one more? Yeah.
well, if you, I was going to say, we had one more I had, but I know we wanted to talk about the ramifications of not a lot of information being out, and then so we can, if you want to, we can skip the last one, do it some other time or whatever, just whatever you want to do.
Let's go ahead and do that one. I think we've discussed a lot already of some of the ramifications and
Yeah,
some of the things and considerations already. So let's
yeah.
go ahead and
Okay.
do this one.
All right, now, so there's I say a little bit more information, but there is a theories on a possible serial offender being involved in this one. But this is Marjorie Alice Knox. She's been missing since February 14th. February 14th, that was the same as Meredith. It's a different year, but same day. Anyway, she's missing from Chaparral. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Chaparral, New Mexico. She's an Asian biracial white female. She was just 14 years old, 5'2" to 5'3", 115 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. It's said that she may have bleached her hair blonde. She is of Thai descent. She was last known to be wearing a purple shirt and blue jeans. It says, it's not been confirmed, but it says that she may have been pregnant at the time of her disappearance. Once again, this information has not been absolutely confirmed, just something to keep in mind. So apparently Marjorie had attended a Valentine's Day party at Veterans Park, which is in the northeast part of El Paso, Texas, on February 13th, 1987. Witnesses saw a young man driving a small truck pull up to the entrance to the park. This man was seen speaking to Marjorie. She had promised her mother that she would be home by around 10 p.m. She never arrived home. After the party, Marjorie went to her hometown of Chaparral, New Mexico, which was about 25 miles from El Paso. She visited a female friend on Chaparral Street, which was an unpaved road with no street lights. She left her friend's house between 2 and 3 a.m. And this was about a 15 to 20-minute walk from this friend's house to her home, which was on Byram Street. So she never arrived home. She's never been heard from again. So that same year, we'll try not to go down the rabbit hole on this one, but that same year, several other females disappeared from El Paso. And Josh, you may be familiar with this. Most of them were later found victims of homicide buried in the desert. They were all small, slender young women in their teens and early 20s. Marjorie and two other females, Melissa and Elise and Cheryl Vasquez, are still missing. So there's a little bit of connection. Marjorie knew one of the homicide victims. That same victim had gone to school with Melissa Alanis. And Cheryl Vasquez, also attended that same school. So David Leonard Wood, who was a serial essayist, he was paroled in January of 1987. He was later convicted of 6 counts of homicide with these El Paso victims, though he does maintain his innocence, of course. They do say that they mention this because he does resemble the man that Marjorie was seen speaking to just before she disappeared at this party that was at Veterans Park. He also had lived in Chaparral off and on, and he apparently, they say, slightly knew Marjorie. He was sentenced to the DP in 1993, still awaiting the DP. So the homicides of these El Paso girls and women, they did stop after David Leonard Wood was arrested and put in prison. He has not been charged in connection with Marjorie's case. It's unclear whether or not he was involved. And I do believe that picture that Josh put on there is David Leonard Wood. So it just says Marjorie was athletic. She enjoyed sports. She enjoyed horses. At least one of her friends believes that she may still be alive. Very little evidence as to what happened. Her father and one of her brothers are now deceased, unfortunately, but her other relatives, relatives have all moved away from the Chaparral, New Mexico area. New Mexico police are investigating Marjorie's case. And there may be some accounts in some places that say that she actually disappeared, from El Paso. So that is the information on Marjorie. And let me see. Just going to quickly look. I know we're short on time, but
you take your time. I'm just
well, it's a matter of the computer taking its time. Well, it actually picked up.
You have to talk to it.
Yeah, I had to cuss it, talk to it, cuss it, yell at it, slap it around a little bit. Okay, so let's see. Come on, go to the right one. Did I not do the right one? Hold on. You know me, technical difficulties. I think I saved the wrong. Oh, come on. Sorry, once again, I apologize. Why is it not going to the other? There we go. Okay, sorry. So this is just a short little article. It's from ElPasoTimes.com from February 2012. Cold case detectives have not given, so there is cold case detectives working on her case, thank goodness. They have not given up on finding out what happened to Marjorie. One of her closest friends last saw her walking to her home along this unpaved road, no street lights. I would not walk down it myself, even as an adult. So for a quarter of a century, her disappearance on February 14th, 1987 has baffled friends and relatives. 2 years ago, keep in mind this is an article from 2012, veteran detectives with the Donna Ana County Sheriff's Department picked up her case, which seemingly had fallen through the cracks, unfortunately, as some of these cold cases do, after it was turned over to El Paso police. who are investigating these strings of the homicides and these other missing girls that we talked about in El Paso. Kelly Jameson, who's a spokeswoman for the cold case detectives in Las Cruces, New Mexico, says we are still investigating Marjorie's disappearance. It is an active case. We welcome any tips or leads. A relative of Marjorie's who did not wish to be quoted shared an age progression photo. I don't think we had, oh, it may be on the slide. So once again, we've already talked about the David Leonard Wood possible connection. I know there is some information here that wasn't in the Charlie Project. Sorry. So they do mention that Wood did have other places that he did bury his victims, but they never found anybody, including Marjorie, any of those places that he could have had. Chris Espinoza, who's a friend of Marjorie's, said he remembers Marjorie's a fun-loving girl. She liked to ride horses, liked to climb trees. He says, I'll always remember the way she was. He did see her at her home. It says late at night, hours before she vanished.
Mm.
So that evening, she was supposed to include this other party at the friend's home in Chaparral. The Knox family also had plans for a family party later on February 14th, and Marjorie told friends that she had to get home to help prepare for her family's Valentine's Day party. So Marjorie's father, James, her father actually told police in 1987 that his daughter may have been pregnant. So her father was the one that said, hey, she might have been pregnant. So I don't know what he had heard or if Marjorie had told him something to give him that idea. The family heard this as a rumor from her friends also, but the relatives were not able to confirm it. So after Espinoza and other friends left Marjorie, she ended up at the home of Docia Merritt, who was another friend who lived on Chaparral Drive. Merritt's mother, Carolyn, says, when I got home that night from work, Docia wanted to take the car to give Marjorie a ride home. I wouldn't let her use the car because the last time I let her use the car, she had run into a ditch, so she was not allowed to drive. She said it was cold that night, and Docia walked Marjorie to the corner, and that was the last time that anyone saw Marjorie. So it was around 2 a.m., and it would have taken Marjorie, they say, about 15 to 20 minutes to walk to her home. But to get there, once again, she had to walk down this dark, unpaved road, no lighting, never made it home. So somewhere between this friend's house and walking down this dark, spooky, unpaved road, apparently is where she disappeared, because she was not seen by anybody else after her friend walked her to the corner and watched her walk away. So witnesses told police once again that they saw this man talking to her that resembled this Wood fella. Was seen a man resembling him was last seen talking to her from his truck. Witnesses also told police that Wood stayed for a short time with the family in Chaparral after he got out of prison in January of 1987. Her father passed away, unfortunately. The rest of the family moved away. So she was not entered into NCIC until this cold case unit took her case over. That's one thing they did do, was enter her information into NCIC. So anyone with information about Marjorie's disappearance is encouraged to call the Donna Ana County Sheriff's Cold Case Unit at 575-525-1911. So that was I found it interesting that it said her father told the police that, I guess he had heard, I don't know, that she could be pregnant. Her family had also heard rumors from her friends that she could have been pregnant. So if she was pregnant, that just makes it even more, like I said, unless she's ended up somewhere happy and healthy, and just left for whatever reason, if something was going on. But, I don't know. It's weird to me that just, and I'm just in my opinion, a dark unpaved road being unpaved, it could have been a very rural area, not a lot of traffic. So did somebody she know come by, say, hey, I'll give you a ride home, and something happened? Did a stranger just happen to be out there riding around on the road, and something happened? I mean, once again,
There's
any number of possibilities.
the flat land out there in like Chaparral and the dirt roads out there, the unpaved dirt roads, and how you can see people you can see somebody walking alone or something from far away. I mean, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah, I didn't think about that, because I was thinking about because I live out in the country, but we have a lot more trees and wooded areas where the back roads are, you can't see anything, like you said, and like the flat land with no trees, and you can see somebody, a mile away or whatever.
and sometimes, even though this was more towards night, it was February, so the sun wouldn't necessarily be up it, but there are times out here where the sun doesn't go down till 10 p.m. and even then you can see
Yeah.
people moving around sometimes from far away,
Mm-hmm.
even at night. But it
Yeah.
lends itself, just like
Yeah.
Gloria and Covington up in Amarillo, or Linda that I was covering earlier,
Mm-hmm.
just that the locations on
Yep.
these unpaved roads, and uh, you'll probably undoubtedly where she was walking had abandoned homes, dilapidated
Mm-hmm.
places. It could be just like Glory and Cove, with
Yep.
tires on the sides of the dirt road,
Mm-hmm.
trash. Um, uh,
Ash. Yep.
yeah, and it's so heartbreaking. She may have had a boyfriend and ran
Yes.
away, or he didn't want to be a dad. Yeah, it could. It may not be even
Possible. Yep.
connected to Wood. It it just was one of those
Yeah.
coincidences that happened to be
Just
during a similar time.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
Wood, just this year, got uh, I think is able to appeal his uh, death sentence. So
Oh,
it
really?
happened. The Supreme Court sided on it for
Oh.
something to do with his attorneys, previous attorneys, or something like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
and the families of the other victims in this case were very upset at that. Um, but
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
and I can imagine also in here he's.
So they like.
Oh, you're breaking
Sorry,
up
I
there,
didn't mean to
Don.
interrupt you. Oh, sorry. My farm signal once again. Uh,
I know we're probably stretching it out
farm
just a little
signal.
bit, but yeah, it's Chaparral. I've been through there a couple times, and
Okay.
it very much like a lot of places in New Mexico, in this area, um, with several towns just being almost uh, parts of it seeming very ghost townish. the the
Yeah.
the the
Yeah.
um, tumbleweed go- going.
Tumbleweeds. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matter of fact,
Uh,
I have a friend
uh,
that lives on the outside, lives kind of outside town, and is
mhm.
always sends pictures of cleaning tons. I mean, uh, hay bale size looking tumbleweeds out of his pool.
Wow. I've never seen one that big.
Yeah.
Even when we drove out across going to Arizona, we drove through all that, and We saw a few little baby tumbleweeds, whatever, on the road, but yeah, I can't imagine a hay bale size one. Ooh,
There's just, yeah, a lot of things that could be going on in this case that may have nothing to
yeah,
do with wood.
yeah.
Uh,
Especially if, now they said it wasn't confirmed, but if she was pregnant at 14 years old, and like was it Sensei? I forgot now. What, the father didn't want to be a father, or maybe they ran away together to get, because they knew, their family, maybe families wouldn't be happy with the situation, so they took off together. But I didn't say anything like that. Once again, I'm just speculating. Just
yeah, and if it
but
is a family, they could have taken advantage of the uh, similar timing or something of the
mm,
others
of the
disappearing.
other one, absolutely,
Could have,
absolutely. Yep,
yeah. It is such
I agree.
a tragic one at this, and then, or she could, looking back, it could have escaped and um, went on and is living a different life somewhere else.
Mm, yep. Oh, I went in and out. I'm back, I think.
Yeah, you're going in and
Living
out.
her best life somewhere. Yeah, in and out. Yeah,
Well, this
sorry
has
about that.
been, oh, no worries. This has been a good conversation, and I know these cases, just like Sensei said,
Absolutely.
it's heartbreaking, and so
Yes.
a lot of these time, you need to take time for yourself, and if uh if you have a history of experiencing these traumas and this is traumatic, take a step back and take care of yourselves, and for your own mental health and stuff like that. Take doses of true crime in in
Yeah.
with you,
Yep.
and um
Yep.
and notice that even when we have a lack of information, bringing these cases up and really um, doing your best to tell their story with little information can make the difference of keeping their name out there, and maybe
Absolutely.
hopefully a resolution might come. Uh, and that's what we're here for. We're here to support each other and console each other, and sometimes to laugh at appropriate times, and
Yeah. Sometimes you have
sometimes,
to laugh to keep from crying. Yep.
yeah, sometimes just to, you know, to have those moments passing through lavender fields or smelling the roses or just
Touching some
remembering
grass.
touching some grass and grounding yourself
Yes.
in these. So, well, thank you so much, Southern Gal Dawn, for
You're so
being
welcome.
willing to
Thank
come
you.
on here. We have done
Absolutely.
2 hours of true crime. We had a great um, conversation, and I really appreciate you coming on. And
No
you're
problem. And
welcome
I
on my
will,
channel anytime.
I was going to say, I will probably invite myself back at some point to
All
be on
right.
with you
Yeah,
again. Thank you so
absolutely.
much.
Have a good evening. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.